Following up on the conversation we started a few days ago about Meg Thee Stallion and Flo Milli's song ROC STEADY, and how I believe that was a blatant attack against Black male humanity and the importance that they hold in our lives, especially in the Black community. But another thing that I really think that we need to discuss is how and in which way Black women today continue to uphold and promote and support white supremacy. I know this is a touchy subject. I know it's hard to conceptualize for some of you guys that Black women can have mindsets that can be quote unquote raccoonish. We're very comfortable looking at Black men and calling them out when we feel like they are self-hating. We're very comfortable with that. I think society, by and large, they have names for that I don't even need to mention. Y'all just know. It's still, I think, really hard for the consciousness of many Black people to settle with the fact that there are also Black women out there who are equally as culpable or equally as capable of doing things that are also considered raccoonish. So I want you guys to look at the response that I got from many Black people, but many Black women who came in defense of Meg Thee Stallion. And they're right, Meg Thee Stallion and Flo Milli's right to dance on the graves of Black men. I want you to see the different excuses they made. I want you to see the different things that they said. And ultimately, let's be very clear that it's this kind of mindset that is exactly how and why you have Black people, and yes, specifically Black women, who are at this point actively promoting or supporting white supremacist agendas. And it's not even that white folks have to come up and, sit in this dark room and this think tank and create ideas on how to destroy Black people. No, it's not even that. It's that you have had people who are so entrenched in their own self-hatred, or who are so entrenched in their own self-disrespect or self-disdain that they can't even tell when they are being used to destroy themselves, or they quite frankly don't care. And that is exactly what's happened. And so just to go over this tweet real quick that I did, it says, I want to see more Black women outraged over the Stallion ROC STEADY. No way we would celebrate a Black male artist who danced on the bloody graves of Black women, but it's okay to openly disrespect Black men because it's art. Hypocrisy. Can't nobody sit here and tell me that that's not the case. Now this one got about 3.3 million views. Let's look at some of the responses here. It says, there's literally a genre of hip hop called horrorcore where they're free to rap about everything they want to do to women. Meg's video is themed around a 2009 movie with Black actress. So her argument is Black men do it too. First of all, I am not familiar of any song from Black male that has gotten an equal leverage of media footage. There certainly isn't a Black male rapper who would have done something that heinous and then be, representing the Democratic Party, would have been, at their events, dancing, speaking, connected with politicians. If there was an equivalent Black male as Meg Thee Stallion, they would not have that amount of political pull, and they wouldn't have the amount of endorsements today. But secondly, I'm not familiar of any of those horrorcore genres that, again, are mainstream and that are literally showing the bloody deaths of Black women. But even if that was the case, that doesn't make it right. And thirdly, like, this genre of music is not horrorcore. Like, Meg Thee Stallion is not more horrorcore. Like, she's very mainstream. So she's trying to, like, very much conflate this whole super niche side of hip hop with a artist that is very mainstream. And I just don't think that's a fair comparison. And like I said, even if that was the case, that does not make it right. And then, like I said, lastly, no Black male artist who is doing this to Black women are going to be promoted, elevated to the point of representing political candidates. Like, that's not going to happen. Now, but here's another one. Y'all never seen Jennifer's Body, and so they're saying is, hey, it's not that big of a deal because this is simply a representation of the movie Jennifer's Body. To which I respond, I don't care. I don't care if this was a play. I don't care if this was a popular book. It doesn't matter, because these things don't happen in a silo. We have to remember the context of what's going on. We have to remember that this is a time right after the elections where division is high, and there's a consistent need to, quite frankly, drive division particularly within the Black community, right after the time when we saw that Black men, by and large, supported the Democratic Party, Black men, by and large, still voted very much in favor of Black female interest. And you have Black women coming out and saying, oh, wow, like, we're sorry, we're sorry, we were wrong. Right after that, you have this, like, what feels very much like a hit piece. You have this hit piece to be like, no, we're going to make sure that we try to, like, put a nail in this coffin. We're going to make sure that we drive as much division as possible between men and women and continue to keep Black women separated from their head, from their spiritual head and their community, which, by the way, is Black men. You're not getting around that. You're not getting around who Black men are in your life, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you like, you're not getting around who Black men are actually meant to be in your life and your community. But anyways, that's besides the point. It don't matter what the name, if this was a movie, that doesn't make it any less misandrous. It doesn't make it any less racist or white supremacist. And the reason I'm using the word, WS specifically, is because there is a consistent push to try to normalize the deaths of Black men, to try to desensitize people to it. But this is why every year, every other year, you're seeing a Black man be either literally publicly killed through police, or culturally assassinated. So another one here says, it's because we of the smarter human race knows video is from a movie. Again, that doesn't, it could be a movie, it could be a podcast, it could be a book, it could be a poem, it could be a play. That doesn't change the agendas, because these things don't happen in silo. There are plenty of other movies. There are plenty of other stories that could be told, that could be done in a way to uplift, to rebuild, to restore, and to improve the situations of Black America. There are plenty of movies. So why choose some of the most degenerate, some of the most disgusting, some of the most devilish, demonic, evil movies out there that are literally showing Black men and women not getting along, further reinforcing the divide and the dissension that's always been there, because Black people were taught to not trust themselves starting as soon as their plantation. Like, this stuff doesn't happen in a silo. So what I'm saying is, people don't take these things seriously, but then sit around and beg and cry about reparations, be mad that the protection isn't there, be mad that, oh, colorism, featureism, texturism, like, they're not seeing how this stuff is all connected. Fake outrage, yawn, boring. Okay, like I said, I don't want to hear none of these people complain talking about colorism, featureism, texturism. I don't want to complain them talking about Black men don't protect this. I don't want to complain here. I don't want to hear any of that. And mind you, I know some of these things people are just trolls, whatever. It says LLNAO, her role is a man-eater or some type of vampire-like thing, hence the blood around her neck and dripping from her lips around her mouth. Would you rather be a non-Black man she consumed for your moral purposes? No. Again, so I'm here now. This is Black men. This is the correct cool part too, where you see Black men coming in here defending this. If that's where you're at with it, that's on you. That's on you. But don't sit around and complain about reparations. I don't want to hear you talk about reparations not once. When you sit here and allowing your own people to disrespect your own people, because again, all this stuff is connected. So I'm hearing a lot of people saying that this is okay. It's okay because this is a reference to the movie. Says the Black community is a matriarchy, smart and productive Black men should go their own way. So here's a Black man who's getting it. He's like, yeah, I'm not messing with y'all. I'm moving. I mean, I want you guys to just keep in mind the excuses. Nobody is denying that this is wrong. Nobody's saying, like, they're not denying it's wrong. They're just saying it's okay to do it because it's entertaining. So it's like they can't actually dispute my point. They can't actually dispute the point that this is disgusting and that it is actually diabolical or that this is offensive. They can't dispute that. They're just saying, well, it's fine because it's art. Art imitates life. Black women have jobs. Okay, so they're likely focusing on something else. Okay, completely fine. But I want you guys to remember this. If you see Black women start complaining about protection, we're the men to protect us. If things start popping off, if you hear Black women being like colorism, featureism, texturism, if they're having a hard time in the corporate world, if they feel like they're not getting protection in the corporate world, they feel like if Black men aren't speaking up on their behalf in some of these other spaces, I want you guys to remember this. That's all I'm saying. So you guys got to send something. If you guys can continue to go down to the comment section, you'll see more people making excuses. There are some who are like, nah, I totally agree with you. Like, hence why I did get the amount of retweets that it got. So here's one right here. It says, with the way Black men have been treating Meg Thee Stallion these past few years, I think she should do it more actually. So you guys get a sense. For some people, this is almost like some weird revenge porn kind of thing. Like, I don't get it. But what we do know is that there's nothing good. The intentions about this are not good. Whether it was an artistic redo of a movie that was already probably evil and demonic, whether it was them just wanting to stick a middle finger up to Black men, whether it was her, Meg Thee Stallion herself, trying to make a point, you know, with some of the different dramas she's gone through, after Tory Lanez, all that. Like, no matter what the intention was, like, we all can agree that it wasn't good. Now, people are pacifying it because they find it entertaining, and women in particular are pacifying it because they think it's entertaining, and they are upset that I would dare mention something against Megan Thee Stallion, who they like. She's cute, she's twerking, she's done stuff for Black women. They think whatever. But I wanted to be very clear. I just want people to understand that they have the right to absolutely pacify this. They have the right to make any excuses, but I just don't want to hear any of those same women complain about colorism, texturism, featurism. I don't want to hear them complain about Black men not protecting them. I don't want to hear them complain about Black men not showing up for them. I don't want to hear them complain about any of that, because this is the kind of stuff. It's these kind of things where they're Black women, they look at it and they either choose to turn another eye, they choose to justify the blatant disrespect of their own men. And by the way, men do this too. There are men in these comments who are bigging her up. So I don't want to just say that it's just women, but I'm like, some men also have the same self-hating mentality, in my opinion, right? But it's when these things happen and nobody has anything to say and nobody thinks it's a problem, I'm like, that's completely fine, but we have to understand these have implications. Like, I want people to be very clear that by them choosing to overlook these kinds of things and by them choosing to support these kinds of artists, there are repercussions. The repercussions of this are less and less men believing what any Black woman has to say. The repercussions of this is why Black men don't particularly trust Black women when it comes to these things. So if a woman wants to do this, that is completely fine. But they need to know that these things don't happen in silos. And that was ultimately my point. My point was, this is dangerous, this is destructive, this is divisive, this is unhealthy, this is unhelpful. And I hope more Black women are going to be aware of that. I did get some support, I got some retweets, I got some likes. I wanted to review with you guys, though, some of the pushback, because I thought that was insane. But I'm like, although I think it's insane, whatever, women have the right to their own choice, but I want them to know that their choices have repercussions. And please do not sit here and dance on the Black men's grave and then go around a few months later, when things start happening in 2025, things start popping off, the economy changes, and you're looking for a place, you're looking for some help, and then think that, and then complain and ask why Black men aren't around to protect you. You haven't created an environment where you've shown that you even want them. And some of y'all, not all of y'all, but some of y'all have to be willing to acknowledge that. Anyways, those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment section below. Thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later.